The NYPD has every right to be mad at Mamdani. He should be ashamed of himself. Now, you guys know that Mamdani had this lunatic over at the governor's or the mayor's mansion, and he wouldn't even have a police officer over there. Like, put this together real quick. This Khalid, whatever the dude's name is an illegal alien in this country, committed crimes in this country, got deported, and now they're celebrating him. This is why I get so mad at people voting for these nut job Democrats. But then you have a police officer, NYPD, I think he was a chief, jumping over barricades, arresting a guy who tried to commit a terrorist attack. And he can't even get a seat at the table at the mayor's house. They won't even show him no love. He won't congratulate the guy. They won't highlight him. He will go and visit a guy at the hospital who pulled a knife and tried to stab cops, saying that he think he shouldn't get prosecuted, but cops that saved the lives of so many people and arrested a terrorist, he won't even talk about him. Come on, put a clip up if you don't remember. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to him having that weirdo at the mansion.
Mamdani hosting controversial anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil for a Ramadan dinner at the mayor's mansion last night. Khalil, a former grad student at Columbia who was one of the key figures spearheading anti-Israel protests in Manhattan, was arrested by ICE a year ago, facing potential deportation after the Trump administration accused him of committing fraud on his green card application.
Committed a crime, and he's at the mayor's mansion. Y'all, I'm mad at you Jews that voted for Mamdani. If you're a Jew and you voted for Mamdani, you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're black and you voted for Mamdani, you should be ashamed of yourself. If you're smart and you voted, you're dumb, actually. You're not smart. So if you voted for Mamdani, I mean, you got to be stupid to let that dude trick you. Let me tell you something you need to know about Medicare. Most Medicare agents are not working for you. They're working for their commission. That means they'll push whatever plan that pays them more, even if the plan don't fit your needs. I don't respect that. What I do respect is Chapter. They make sure that you understand all of your options. They don't hide the downside. They don't rush you. They lay out the pros and the cons, then compare every plan to your specific healthcare needs. Because the goal isn't to sell you something. The goal is to get you the right coverage. One Chapter member, Donna, said her advisor walked her through every option, explained everything clearly, and ended up saving her thousands of dollars. That's not unusual. Chapter often saves people over $1,000 a year on healthcare costs just by helping them enroll in the right plan for their needs. So if you're on Medicare or you're about to be, don't guess. Don't let the government or some agent hustle you. Call Chapter at 646-741-4126 for complete healthcare guidance. That's 646-741-4126. Here's from the Sergeants Benevolent Association, which I think this is probably a police association in New York. This was a clear-cut terrorist attack. I guess is addressed to the mayor. They are testing your administration's resolve. Whether you pass or fail, this test depends on your resolve to protect this city. This was a terrorist attack by people who promote hate on both sides. We could have lost many cops and civilians yesterday. You should have already taken charge within the first hour, not almost 24 hours later. And this is a comment from the Benevolence Association about Mamdani. Now let's go to our next clip. And it kind of reiterates what I just said, but it gives a little bit more context here. Let's go to the Fox News clip, roll it.
We could have lost many cops and civilians. You should have already taken charge within the first hour, not 24 hours later. They're talking about the mayor here, James.
Yeah, and the other night, instead of hosting the two-star police chief who leaped over the barricades and ran this guy down who had thrown the bomb, the mayor decides at Gracie Mansion to host Mahmoud Khalil. I mean, he's sending such a awful, awful message here to the rank and file. And remember, the mayor, when he was a private citizen who had commented on Twitter then that he saw a cop crying in his car and nature was healing. This is something that, again, the men and women of the NYPD will do the right thing. They're going to enforce the laws. They're going to show up for work. But they understand that this man on the screen right now does not have their...
All right. I want you to pull Mamdani on there and see if I can get it in the screen with him. There you go. You can see his face right there. I would slap him in the top of the head, but I'm a good Christian and I don't believe in breaking the law. Okay, let's put this in perspective real quick. This is what bothers me to no end about these people. Mamdani is evil. I don't want to hear no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't want to hear nobody trying to make excuses for him. He's an evil devil. Only devils are deceptive enough to not prioritize what is true and what is good. Those who believe in a false God, which is probably what Mamdani believes in, and that is a hypocrite, they are the ones that find themselves on the wrong side of these arguments. There is no way in the world that you would have that Khalil, whatever the guy's name is, at the mayor's mansion having dinner with him when the guy has committed crimes, but you won't even support, you won't mention, you claim you want to defund law enforcement officers that are in the city making the city safe. You cannot be a good person and have a bad mind like that. All right, let's get to the last clip, and then we're going to get on to Abby Phillips. Wrote a clip. I'm going to show the clip. I want to show you guys who the real hero is in this whole thing. Pull him up, pull me up. That man right there should be on the news, touted, supported. Now, I know he's probably a good man, so he don't want that. That's his job. If you talk to him, he would probably tell you, I'm just doing my job. I'm just being the man God called me to be. Leaping over a wall to go after a guy who tried to blow up innocent people with a freaking pipe bomb situation. That man that you see in this video, and he's a black and brown body. Dan, you can't at least show it. No, black people, you look at this. He bring a Muslim in there that's a criminal, but the brother don't get no love, and y'all voted for him. That man right there sprung into action, saved lives, and he won't even give him a 30-second shout out. Come on, play the clip from Fox.
Look at this. It's incredible imagery. Wow. Chief Aaron Edwards just taking action and probably saving lives in doing so.
Yeah, that's NYPD. That's what they do on a daily basis. And this is a mayor that wanted to defund them, that still wants to defund them and defund SWAT. And yes, last night, entertaining Mahmoud Khalil for dinner. He should have had NYPD rank and file over for dinner. He should have been thanking them a little bit more publicly than this, considering that you are correct. The only anti-Islamist extremism, the only rhetoric coming over condemning it is from Tish, the NYPD commissioner, who, by the way, my sources tell me she's only allowed to speak at those pressers with his specific approval and with a script specifically approved by the mayor. And you, by the way, layer that on top of the fact that as we sit here, the monster responsible for murdering NYPD detective Jonathan Diller is on trial right now for murder. This all happens in New York City at the same time, and we need a mayor that for once will appreciate publicly and vehemently the sacrifices that our brave men and women make, because in that moment they were running toward battle, because make no mistake, this is a homeland attack. This is one of many that we have had and many to come, where ISIS-inspired monsters try to throw IEDs in this particular event, and NYPD, just like our soldiers, run toward it to save the public in the same week that they get smashed in the face by actual ICE in the ungrateful public fomented by Mamdani.
Y'all, we're in a spiritual battle. We're in a spiritual battle in this country, and I'm hoping that we understand this. This is spiritual. I do not understand how, and to a certain degree, how people are supportive of these devils that are out here ruining this country. It's all. I think that the Bible says that we do not. You should know that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers. It's spiritual. And so in addition to us doing what I'm doing and what you guys are doing in your capacity, we do need to pray against these spirits, because you got to be evil and possessed by a spirit to not have the wisdom to do the right thing when you know better. Mamdani is not a good person. This is not objectively someone's subjective opinion, right? This is not impartially a person's, subjective opinion. This is literally a biased, demonic influence in the minds of these people that make them hate good and love evil.